Good morning. Welcome to a small little settlement based on recognizing where you came from. They wouldn't have it any other way. But we're not just stopping here. Livingston Parish, get ready for our 9 News This Morning road trip.
Matt, they are building boats and getting ready.
The Tickfaw River Redneck Regatta.
I'm Lauren Westbrook. We'll preview the wildest race on the river.
I'm Johnny Asian at the French Settlement Sausage Company. Let's see if we can get that family secret recipe.
I'm Graham Okins, where they are preserving history, all of it.
And we used to go skinning different.
I'm Matt Williams, all of that. And what's Westbrook doing with the snake? Wake up and roll out as our 9 News This Morning road trip rolls on in Livingston Parish.
Get up, get out of your bed now. You're wasting your time. 'Cause it's a beautiful day now. It'll be just fine. 'Cause the sun is up now. We're ready to rise and shine.
All right, folks, we will get to road trips in just a minute. But of course, everybody can hear that thunder and lightning outside. We've got some severe weather, so Jeff has a look at that first.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, we have some major storms that are moving through the Baton Rouge area. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45 for sections of West Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge, and Livingston parishes. You can see there with the yellow polygon where that severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect. The main cluster or main sort of core of this storm is now moving through Bruley, Addis, into southern sections of East Baton Rouge Parish over towards the Bluebonnet, Essen Lane areas. So that's where we're watching some of these strong thunderstorms with wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour possible, even some indications of hail, and you see all of the lightning associated with it as well. Right over top Baton Rouge, causing some problems for us here at WAFB with lightning striking our tower, causing some signal issues. But there you see the main cluster of this now moving over sections of LSU over towards downtown Baton Rouge. Indications are possible of even some hail associated with it. This is our estimated hail size according to Doppler radar, with indications right now just below an inch in diameter, which is the size of quarters, moving just to the west of the Gardeer neighborhood over towards LSU and moving towards sections of College Drive, Bluebonnet, Essen. This is headed your way with the possibility of some hail, strong damaging winds, and very heavy rainfall and frequent lightning strikes. So what we're watching is that severe thunderstorm warning. We'll tell you more about that coming up in just a few minutes. But for right now, let's get an update on our news headlines as we send things back over to Elizabeth Vowell.
All right, thanks, Jeff, for that. And of course, we'll have updates throughout the rest of the morning. Before we head back out to that live shot, some news headlines for you now. Ahead today, lawmakers are expected to pass a budget that would protect health care and higher education. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle joined together to celebrate the bipartisan compromise yesterday. Governor Bobby Jindal gave his take, while representatives called it a culmination of a lot of hard work.
This is a very sensitive issue to many of us across the state. There's a lot of people that are going to make a lot of hard votes the next 2 days, but they understand that at the end of the day, it's what's best for the people of the state of Louisiana.
And if there are changes they want to make in some of these credits, as long as they tie them to tax cuts or other tax credits that may be created or increased in value, we'd be open to considering that.
Final pass the bill. Do you favor final pass the bill? Yes, as opposed to no clerk on the machine.
Okay, all right. Oh, look,
Ascension Parish planned to seek the death penalty against 3 people charged in the death of a Gonzalez couple and their son. The murders happened in February of last year. Detectives say Robert Michard, his wife Shirley, and her son Douglas Dooley were killed during a home invasion robbery. The suspects got away with thousands of dollars worth of rare gold coins. 4 people were arrested. 36-year-old Michael Akins will be the first to go on trial. That's expected to happen in late September. Folks living in Baton Rouge's Garden District have come to an agreement with an owner of a group home in that area. Residents complained about trouble possibly connected to boys living at the Camellia House for years. On Wednesday, both sides signed a memorandum of understanding. The 2-part agreement states that the home's owner, Collis Temple, will consider selling the home. If he doesn't, there will be restrictions on who can live there.
It's alleged that the group home residents, not all of them, but some of them, have been responsible for a number of thefts, property damage, cars broken into, fires.
The memorandum is not legally binding, but is meant to make sure all parties are on the same page. We're told there's no residents currently living at the Camellia House. Thursday night's LSU game against the Aggies going into the early hours of the morning thanks to a rain delay. Rough night for the LSU Tigers. The team scoring only 1 run in their first game against Texas A&M. The Tigers held the competition scoreless until the 7th inning when the Aggies rallied to bring in 2 runners for a 2-1 victory. The teams face off again tonight. Now, as you know, we've got road trips coming up. The crew is in Livingston Parish. We'll get to that live shot soon. But first, let's give you a little background and check out the history of the beautiful town of French Settlement.
To talk about the history of French settlement, we need to start here on the Amite River. French, German, Italian immigrants, they all navigated the Amite and settled right here back in the 1800s. It was a different name back then, Londel, evolving into La Côte Française, or French settlement, a nickname actually for one of the village's first general stores. For many of the village's early years, settlers depended on the river as an important food source and as a means to get to Lake Maurepas and eventually into Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans. Now, of course, the river running through South Livingston Parish is used primarily for recreation, and the highways take residents to work in places like Denham Springs and Baton Rouge. The village is growing, but slowly, choosing to maintain its status as a village, not a town, all the while keeping that South Louisiana family feel.
We will get to the road trip as soon as we can. We're, of course, having little technical issues this morning. We were hit by lightning. Of course, severe weather this morning. You can hear the thunder popping probably in the background. Again, we took a lightning strike, but we'll get to that as soon as we can. Right now, we're going to head to commercial break, but we'll have more on weather and 9 News this morning coming up.
This is Jeff Morrow.
Monitoring some severe weather that's rolling through the viewing area. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we're watching for, one across sections of Iberia Parish, St. Martin Parish, and northwestern sections of St. Mary Parish. This remains in effect until 5:45 in the morning. Same story for the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for sections of West Baton Rouge Parish, East Baton Rouge Parish, and Livingston. Sort of core of the storm for the warning here across the metro area has now moved into East Baton Rouge Parish. But you see these sort of shades of red here, dark shades of red as you stretch southwest from southwest Mississippi down towards New Iberia. All of this has the tendency to possibly produce some winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, as well as hail the size of quarters, 1 inch in diameter, even slightly greater than that at times according to radar. You see, though, main storm motion is towards the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour for the storm system that's across sections of the metro area. moving more in an easterly direction at about 30 to 35 miles per hour across sections of New Iberia, moving towards northwestern sections towards Jeanerette, Franklin, in association with St. Mary Parish. So let's focus on this thunderstorm right now that's moving over Baton Rouge proper, and you can see the sort of core of the storm right now moving over the campus of LSU down south towards sections of Bluebonnet, Segan Lane, even Essen Lane. So this storm moving off towards the northeast, as I mentioned, at about 35 miles per hour. So it's going to be headed towards sections near the I-10-12 split, across sections of Interstate 12 into western sections of Livingston Parish, possibly within the next, say, 15, even 30 minutes. So here's the storm track forward. Again, we're kind of isolating the core right around the LSU campus. So as it moves up towards the northeast, could be moving towards the I-10 Bluebonnet area in the Mall of Louisiana by 5:12. Denham Springs, we're pinpointing around 5:30, and then if it holds together, moving through Walker and Livingston a little after 5:30 and 5:45. If it does hold together even longer than that, we're looking at Holden by around 5:57 in the morning hour. So the forecast for today, obviously likely chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms, sometimes severe. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 10 o'clock. Flash flood watch that's in effect until late Saturday evening. 80 degrees for the expected high temperature. That's if we reach that. If we do get some breaks in the rain and some peaks of sunshine, we could see the possibility of that. Mostly cloudy skies overnight. We do expect maybe a decrease in rain chances during the evening and overnight period. That'll give us a chance to maybe dry out just a little bit, but we're still going to call for just a few of those isolated showers and thunderstorms to continue as we look towards the late morning hours on Saturday into the afternoon. That's when activity will once again begin to pick up. We're looking at about an 80% coverage of showers and thunderstorms. Hopefully the good news is severe weather not looking as likely during Saturday, but we still could have some strong storms, maybe a handful of severe storms. 79 degrees the expected daytime high with those winds out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. As I mentioned, flash flood watch extends all across South Louisiana as we have the indication that we could have some very heavy rainfall at times. Would not be surprised if we saw upwards of an inch to an inch and a half just associated with the thunderstorm activity that's moving through this morning. Our RPM model showing some pretty big bullseyes. You see some of the red shades, even some darker reds across sections of the Baton Rouge area, even down south towards the coastal parishes. So upwards of maybe even 4 or 5 inches in certain isolated pockets is definitely not out of the question. But for the most part, what we do believe will be 1, maybe even 2 inches of rain in the forecast as we look towards the next several days. So let's show you that forecast for you right now as we look at a decent coverage of showers and thunderstorms during the day today into Saturday. About an 80% coverage of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. The better news, or good news at least, is that by Mother's Day, we are expected to stay on the dry side. Temperatures will also be on the mild side as a cold front moves through. 81 for the daytime high on Sunday. Then as you look for the rest of the next work week, things are expected to stay on the dry side as well as the mild side. Now let's get a check of some traffic headlines with Michelle McCallum. Good morning, Michelle.
Thanks, Jeff. We have some reports of high water in the downtown area. I just got off the phone with DOTD officials, and they are sending MAP units that way. 9th Street and Boyd, 21st Street near the old bridge, and 15th Street as well. We're also hearing reports of traffic congestion at 200 Laurel Street near Lafayette and 300 West I-10 at the I-10 and 110 split. And we will definitely keep our eyes on what's going on out there. It's very active. Please drive carefully and slow down. And we'll be right back with more news and weather for you.
French Settlement, welcome to Livingston Parish. All right, you know what's been going on. The rain's been causing problems, but there's a fantastic roof, a fantastic crowd. We're going to make this work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All these people have been wonderful.
You know what's been dancing? Everybody's been dancing. Actually, let's bring in the mayor right now, Tony Gutro.
Hey, good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Tony. Come on in here. Get on in here. Come on in.
Sorry about the weather.
Yeah, about that rain, huh?
It'll be all right. We're used to that down here in French Settlement.
I wanted to ask you, you've lived here forever. This is home for you.
Yes.
So tell me, where are we right now? Thankfully you guys have this.
Yeah, we're in behind the French Settlement Town Hall and the museum, located right in the middle of French Settlement.
You guys, they were telling me that they rent this out. You know how much to charge for this? You won't believe it. $100. You can do everything
You're
here.
kidding.
$100. That's it. Bring your whole family reunion down here.
For 24 hours, $100. Yeah.
This is so nice.
It's
If it were to
incredible.
rain somewhere, we
Yeah.
have the place to be.
Yep.
And once the rain stops, you'll be able to see the background, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Here, the old town hall, Creole house.
So this is you're going on year number 9. Is that right, as mayor?
24, it could be 9 years.
9 years. So you've seen this town grow a little bit in those 9 years.
Right. I was clerk since 1995, then mayor 9 years, and just got back in for another 4.
There's something about this town that's just special.
Thank you so much for our little pins.
I know.
We have our little French Settlement pins, jewelry.
I tell you what, this is not the first time I've talked with Tony. I talked with Tony a little bit earlier as well, trying to get a feel for how this town works. I keep calling it a town. It's not really. Have a look.
Gomer Pyle was a huge hit here on CBS. The Sound of Music ruled the box office, and Alabama won a college football title. Sorry about that. Also that year, though, French Settlement was incorporated. 563 people calling it home.
We're a village, and a lot of people don't even realize that.
Village, but wait, it says town right here.
We refer to this as the town. We call this the town hall and city limits.
Turns out the village of French Settlement has everything it needs to be a town, including a population of more than 1,000. They have 1,100 right now. But nobody really wants that distinction. Why? Well, too costly, actually, for a place that runs smoothly just the way it is.
We operate on franchise fees. We don't have any property taxes, and we don't collect sales taxes of any kind. We're the lowest base tax, as far as I know, in Livingston Parish.
And they've mastered the art of applying for and getting grants. Over the last 9 years, they have pulled in more than $420,000 worth to help upgrade the village. And this village has some great things going for it. Can't beat the scenery, blue ribbon school, great fire department.
We have all volunteer fire department. That is absolutely, they're top-notch, number one.
Glenn Newell is one of the 3 aldermen in the village. He says that volunteer fire department actually saved his life about a decade ago. Fell off his roof, nobody found him for an hour, but they got to him and got him the help he needed. The village is filled with these kind of people. They're real and they're full of stories.
This is the cases that they go into.
Donald Porsche has been making sausage here for 50 years. Just one of the many characters that give this place character.
It's real simple. It's like any other job. Once you get the hang of it, that's it. Show it up.
Sure enough, everybody seems happy with the way things are in French Settlement. Well, except for one thing.
Boy, we would love a Taco Bell, McDonald's, Sonic. Come on in. You know, we would, bring us some food.
Bring us some food. There you go. They're not overly picky, just so long as you set up shop in the beautiful village of French Settlement.
There's a lot of stuff to see actually down here in Livingston Parish. If you don't know it, if you haven't made the trip, well, I got the folks who can tell you all about it. The CVB. Good to see you guys this morning. How are you?
Oh, very good. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you.
Our pleasure. Who we got here?
Denise Martin.
Bridget Rushing.
And Sam Mack.
All right, so the 3 names you need to know if you want to get something done here in Livingston Parish. It really is a parish on the move, on the grow. Lots of things to see here. A lot of things you guys are so proud of.
Oh, yes, indeed. And we are really growing fast. Things are moving in a very fast pace. Our director is doing a very good job with it, and I think we're going to do even better in the future.
Livingston Parish is certainly on the map right now. Everybody knows what's going on down here.
Oh, absolutely. Last week we had Tick Fall 200. We have so many events coming up. Everyone needs to visit our website at visitlivingstonparish.com.
From the expos to the tick fall, I mean, everybody understands what there is to do down here. There's no more secrets in Livingston Parish. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows, and we got the Dukes of Hazzard reunion coming up in August. Got people from Swamp People, Duck Dynasty going to be there, so it's going to be a really big deal this time.
I don't think there are any more secrets in Livingston Parish. You talk about what's going on down here. There's something to do every single day, and you guys are part of making that known. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Stay out of the rain. Stay out of the rain. Jeff, how are we doing on this rain? I mean, it looked bad. It looked nasty. What are we thinking, buddy? How you doing?
All right, thank you, guys. As we take a look at our weather situation out there early on this morning, we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for our viewing area. One across sections of the Baton Rouge metro area, now pushing into western sections of Livingston Parish. Looks to be just to the north of you guys in French Settlement. Also down across sections of Acadiana into St. Mary Parish. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6 a.m. The one for the Baton Rouge area in effect until 5:45. Both of these showing signs of hail the size of a quarter in size. Also damaging winds possible in excess of 60 miles per hour. We've gotten some reports of hail in the Addis area within the last 30 minutes, as well as over in St. Helena Parish. Here's a look at the storm that's moving into New Iberia, headed towards sections of St. Mary Parish as well as St. Martin Parish. You see the strong indications of very high shades of red with the radar. That's indicating some of that hail. And you see the big cluster of showers and thunderstorms that's now exiting sort of East Baton Rouge Parish, moving into Livingston Parish. This is more or less for Denham Springs, Watson, and Walker. Your area is going to get hit hard within the next 5, 10, even 15 minutes as this thunderstorm activity continues to move off towards the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So that's what we're watching for. Again, these severe thunderstorm warnings in effect until 5:45 and 6 a.m. respectively. We'll send you back out to the road show here, and we'll go back to commercial break after that.
Support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us.
Get up, get out of your bed now. Wasting your time.
Parish, our road trip series continues. A little bit of rain, a little bit of crazy, but I'm not going to let that deter us. This is not Chamber of Commerce weather by any means, but I have the Chamber of Commerce with us this morning. How are you? First of all, let the world know who you are.
That's what I said. April Weir is president of the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce.
Shannon Bernard, chairman of the board.
Kim Sanders, incoming chair.
Regina Scott, outgoing chair.
So like you said, the past, present, and future of what's going on. You guys just had a huge event, really something to kind of bring the community together. Tell the folks about it.
We did. We had a business expo. Last year we had about 82 vendors, but this year we were able to ramp that up. We had 125. We held it at the Suma Center in Satsuma. I don't know if you're familiar with the location. It's great. And we were jam-packed. The vibe, the energy in the room was indescribable. You really had to be there. But we had not only local businesses that came out, but we had community aspect as well. People from the Hungarian settlement, people from LIGO, people from the Sheriff's Office was one of our big sponsors. I know he's here. He'll be on pretty shortly. And so it was a great event. They can tell you about it. Regina represents the healthcare aspect of it. So
well, healthcare is blowing up in Livingston Parish. I mean, that's a growing market, growing industry. But you guys, I'm sure, don't have to make as many phone calls as you used to. They're coming to you.
Absolutely. And this is Regina. She's with North Oaks, so she can talk about that a little bit.
You guys, when we talk about the growth in this parish, it really has been incredible.
That's correct. We opened our newest facility in Livingston Parish recently, our first full-service OBGYN clinic in Walker recently. Our diagnostic and treatment center opened 2 years ago. And then we also have Our Lady of the Lake in Walker. So all 3 healthcare facilities in Livingston Parish, Auctioner, Our Lady of the Lake, and North Oaks provided health screenings for the public at our Business Expo. And it was a great community event for the public, and it was very well attended and very well appreciated.
Truly, you guys have been blowing up. It really has been remarkable to see just the last 10 years what has happened in Livingston Parish. And again, I have to imagine back in the day, you guys would truly be working the phones, but I got to imagine they're blowing you up now. They want to be a part of something.
Absolutely. Business in Livingston Parish really has grown, and I agree. The place to be is connected with the business community, and the Chamber of Commerce does a great job with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to work on this Chamber of Commerce weather. Hopefully it's on its way out. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Johnny, you know Johnny Asian? You know Johnny?
Awesome,
Johnny.
ladies. Thank y'all so much. What?
Nothing. You got something I know you need to get to.
Well,
though.
we have some traffic going on, and every time it rains, traffic gets a little challenging this morning, so I want to make sure that you guys are slow down, leave enough distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and as you make your way in and around the Baton Rouge area, we're seeing very definitely some wet, slick streets, some low-lying street flooding. This is I-10 east and westbound near College Drive. You can see your downtown-bound traffic on the right, the taillights going away from the camera, and so far so good on the interstate as far as delays, and as far as accidents go, we're expecting some, unfortunately. Hopefully that will be minor in nature. D.R. Horton is the nation's #1 builder, 10 years running, according to Builder Magazine. Now, what that means for you is 21 communities in the Baton Rouge area, 7 right here in Livingston Parish alone. Many sizes and price ranges available. Find out more at drhorton.com. Lauren is with the band.
Yeah, Johnny, we've had 2 awesome bands this morning, one of them being Stone Envy, the lead singer and drummer, Jonathan Amy here. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing great. I can't believe you let me, that's the only one you'll let me do, right?
You can hit any one of them.
That's pretty good though, right?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Now thank you, I'm hired. I got a new job, guys. Now you are playing in French Settlement quite frequently at Creole Festival?
Yeah, Creole Festival is one of our gigs we look forward to each year. Good people, great family. It's a really good place to be once a year in October.
What kind of music do you guys play?
Play a variety from the 1970s to today. Give a little variety for everybody.
We've been enjoying listening to you this morning. I'm going to give you your drumstick back. Why would you encourage people to come to French Settlement?
Mostly the people. Everybody's real friendly down here. It's just a great atmosphere to be.
All right, thank you. Take it away, Stone Envy.
She's a hot to the number in the pickup truck. Daddy sweet, but he done jacked it up. It's a party all night from South Carolina. A band jamming from down in Alabama. She's raging, caging. A lunatic from Broad Street, Juicy Johnny Peach with her thick southern drawl. Say just when you want, brother, she's on. Well, country shoot from a cowboy boots to a town hall route. She's country, yeah. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, and that's the way she was born to raise. She ain't afraid to stay with country, yeah. All about the country. Here
rip up the town. On a tripping holler from the holler in Kentucky, flipping like a tripping like a Mississippi. Since a crazy mother trucker, undercover lover, thinks on the draw, said to swing it wall, brother, she's on country. She from a cowboy boots to a town hall rouge, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, and that's the way she was born to raise. She ain't afraid to sing with country, yeah, all about the country. Oh, show them how them country boys like to do it, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Oh my! Oh look, they're cooking, cooking.
They're getting even more exposure. This is great.
Awesome. Do what?
Trip. As we look at our severe thunderstorm warnings, we have a new one that is now in effect for sections of East Baton Rouge Parish as well as Livingston Parish, or excuse me, Ascension Parish as well as Livingston Parish. And unfortunately, this does include French settlements. Our folks at the live shot need to seek shelter under cover immediately. We do have hail the size of quarters that is moving towards our location of the live shot. You see the hail history there, that cluster of bright blues associated with the possibility of some quarter-size hail starting to move towards the I-12 corridor in Livingston Parish. So we're going to be watching for some possibilities of that quarter-size hail. There's the hail cluster as we speak, as it's moving very slowly off towards the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So you see it right now over sections near Old Jefferson and Prairieville, but is moving off towards the east. So I do have some concern for our live shot there. They do need to seek shelter immediately under cover, away from windows if at all possible, as quarter-size hail is possible within the French settlement area, possibly within the next, I would say, 10-15 minutes. So there's a look at the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. East Baton Rouge Parish, Livingston Parish, Ascension Parish, and Southern Livingston Parish, all in effect for the next several minutes. So we'll be monitoring this weather situation as we go forward over the rest of the show. But for right now, let's get an update on our traffic situation with Michelle McCallum.
Thanks, Jeff. There is a crash at the intersection of Highland and Old Perkins. Just got off the phone with State Police, and they are clearing that up, or should be clearing that up, in the next 30 or 45 minutes. Here's a live shot at I-10 in Essen. As you can see, traffic is moving along pretty well, albeit slowly due to the weather and the slick roads. So you definitely want to drive carefully and slow down. But no accidents right now on the interstate. So if you're headed out, again, just take your time because it's very nasty out there. Of course, we'll keep you posted on what's going on with our traffic and our weather. V. Watts is proud to be in Livingston Parish for over 50 years. Check out V. Watts. Now back to Elizabeth at the news desk.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Let's check some headlines for you this morning. 15 people have been indicted on state charges linked to 15 murders in New Orleans, including the death of a 5-year-old girl. The 51-count racketeering indictment names alleged members of a gang called the One Tenors Gang, based out of the 10th and 11th wards. Authorities are calling the year-long investigation the broadest of its kind in Crescent City history.
We have found is it's not just a one-off. It is a group of people that for years and years and years have terrorized the streets of New Orleans.
Each of the 15 suspects have been indicted on one charge each of racketeering. They also face other charges, including murder, armed robbery, obstruction of justice, and perjury. A house neighbors called an eyesore is no longer and will soon be hauled away. It took public work crews just 22 minutes to level this home on Stony Creek Drive yesterday. Neighbors stood outside and watched the demolition. The house's owner, David Burke, is in jail awaiting trial on child pornography charges. We're told the property will likely be sold at auction. Officials with the Department of Public Works say they may not tear down blighted properties as fast as the public would like, but they've got a list that's about 50 strong already. Director of Public Works David Guillory tells us most of the condemned properties are in North Baton Rouge, like this house on Cadillac Street that was destroyed by a fire. The city is legally obligated to reach out to the owners of blighted owners. That can take times out of the state. Demolition also requires approval from the Metro Council. First this morning for federal court, and here in Baton Rouge, there will now be a woman on the bench. The U.S. Senate approved Baton Rouge attorney Shelley Dick yesterday. Senator Mary Landrieu first recommended her for the job in 2011. President Barack Obama gave her his approval in April of 2012. But Louisiana's other senator, David Vitter, blocked her because of last November's election. Vitter gave the go-ahead after President Obama was reelected. Meanwhile, Senator Vitter is holding up another presidential nomination. This one, President Barack Obama's pick for EPA administrator. Vitter announced the GOP is boycotting a committee vote on Gina McCarthy. He says Republicans are concerned about the openness and transparency of the agency. All right. Morning here. No, some technical issues here on the station. That's because we were hit by lightning, so to bear with us as we do that. We're going to take a look back into weather, Jeff, now as we continue to watch this severe weather. Obviously, a lot of folks concerned, and you were saying possibly needing to seek shelter out there, Jeff.
Yeah, our live shot is definitely in danger right now as we have some hail cores that are moving towards it. You see the severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently in effect for our area. You see for Livingston Parish in specific, for western and southern sections of Livingston Parish, Ascension Parish, northern sections of St. James and St. John the Baptist Parish, all of these areas under a severe thunderstorm warning. Also down towards Iberia and Morgan City areas in St. Mary Parish, also under severe thunderstorm warning. So there you see the cluster of showers and thunderstorms that are rolling through. These have picked up in intensity in the last 30 minutes. Also quite a bit of lightning associated with these, about 10,000 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in our viewing area within the last hour or so. You see where we're zoomed in right now, very strong indications of some hail across sections of Livingston Parish, especially central sections over towards Walker and Livingston, upwards the size of quarters possibly. Also down towards the southwest. The main concern for me right now with our folks over in the live shot is the area near French Settlement. You see our storm tracker there puts that cell close to French Settlement by around 5:45. So within the next 10, maybe even 15 minutes, this thunderstorm capable of producing quarter-size hail and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour will be headed towards Sorrento, French Settlement, Head of Island, Whitehall, as well as Denson. So that's one of the thunderstorms we're concerned with. There you see the hail core that is currently moving through sections of Livingston Parish, also up towards northern Tangipahoa Parish. So quite a bit of activity going on this morning as we continue to monitor the weather situation. So in review, what we're watching, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right now. That is all. Nothing tornadic in nature, just some hail as well as damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Already getting some reports of hail, large hail in the Greenwell Springs area near Airline, also hail over in Addis. So those are some of the locations that we've gotten reports of hail. Also in St. Helena near Liverpool, we've reported, you see some of that hail clusters that's now moved into northern Tangipahoa Parish. That was activity that had moved through earlier. So those are some of the areas that we're watching for right now as we speak, and we'll continue to monitor the weather situation as we go through the next several hours or so. So stay tuned to 9 News. We'll come back with more right after this.
All right, thanks, Jeff. We'll head out to French Settlement for a little bit, but first we got a preview of something else. I don't know if you knew about this, but the French Settlement Sausage Company, to get out there you kind of have to know where you're going, and guess what? Johnny Asian had to find it all on his own.
Off the beaten path, French Settlement Sausage is a hidden gem of Livingston Parish. But as manager Jonathan Gautreaux explains, there was one minor little problem when current owners David and Trudy Beach took over in 2010.
Had no background of sausage whatsoever between the whole family.
So they had to learn quickly, and that they did. Today you can find French Settlement Sausage in stores all across Louisiana in 4 different varieties.
We have a mild, hot green onion, and an andouille sausage.
The original building burnt down in 2005. They rebuilt it and reopened it a year later on the same site and have been making sausage ever since. It's not uncommon to see French settlement sausage featured at area fairs and festivals like St. Mark's Blues Mass, Fire Department appreciation banquets, and Boy Scout events, among others.
We've done Taste of the Tiger tailgating. We do have a couple of our family members that take place in the Jambalaya Festival cook-offs for the mini pots.
In fact, Jonathan himself took first place honors in the St. Mark's Light Lane Festival mini pot competition. All processing is done right here in French Settlement. French Settlement sausage is all natural, no liquid smoke. It's all real hickory smoked sausage. No synthetic casings or colorings either.
And we don't have any fillers or any MSG, or we don't add anything like that. It's pure pork, some seasonings, and then just straight smoke.
French Settlement sausage is a great addition to gumbos, red beans, white beans, sausage po' boys, or just heated on the grill by itself. French Settlement sausage is so proud of French Settlement, they put it in their name.
Welcome to French Settlement, Channel 9.
If he wants to come out on traffic update, I can do a traffic accident update.
Johnny, and some fun facts for you. Andouille is usually leaner mick and a thicker grind, so how about that? Well, again, to the severe weather that we have going on here, again in the studio, we were hit by lightning up here, so we're trying to keep a close eye on that for everyone. Jeff, what do you have for us?
Kind of telling the folks at our live shot to seek shelter because we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for southern Livingston Parish. Here's the overview of the warnings that we currently have in place, and you see one is for central sections of Livingston Parish, another one is for southern sections of Livingston Parish, eastern sections of Ascension Parish, and then also down towards the southwest of Baton Rouge. So I'm going to put the Slidell radar sweep in motion. You see the effect of some of these heavier bands of showers. We've picked up about 2 inches of rain here in downtown within the last hour and a half, but all of that heavier rain has started to exit the Baton Rouge metro area, but a couple of areas of interest that we're watching for are certainly over towards sections of central Livingston Parish as well as eastern sections of Ascension Parish. So these are the two sort of areas that we're watching. One potential indication that we're seeing some of the hail is the sort of pink shade that we see right here just to the north of French Settlement. And we'll turn on our hail indicator and you can definitely see that we're starting to pick up on some of that hail signature that's starting to move into sections of southern and southwestern Livingston Parish. Now we'll put on just strictly the hail size indicator and you can see that we're starting to see some very large indications of hail, upwards of 1.5 inches in diameter, which is the size of a $50 or so. So what we are watching is definitely the possibility of more hail moving into southern sections of Livingston Parish. And as we turn on, what we're looking at is definitely heavy rainfall, so flooded streets across the metro area. They're going to start to become the story for Ascension as well as Livingston Parish as we see some of that heavier rain. I'll show you the lightning that's currently over this area, and you see a heck of a lot of lightning that is moving into these areas as we zoom out a little bit and show you quite a bit of activity of lightning over the Livingston Parish warning area. So that's what we are currently watching. All of these severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect. The one for central Livingston Parish until 5:45, so within the next minute or two could allow to expire, but the one to the south still in effect until 6 a.m. So still a little bit of time to go for this line to move through our area. Probably will be within the next hour and a half or so. So still seeing the potential for severe weather, possibly even through 6:30 into 7 o'clock. So we'll be monitoring this very closely. Of course, we'll have more coming up with weather in a little bit, but right now let's get an update on our traffic as we send things over to Michelle McCallum.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks. It's very busy on the roadways. As you said, severe weather. The rain is coming down. Here's a live shot at I-12 in Range. Traffic is moving pretty well on the interstates, but we have several reports of accidents on our streets and some on the interstates as well. Capitol Access Road, there is an accident there, and several other accidents, and a lot of congestion around the Capitol Access area, Washington Avenue, and various streets. So we'll definitely keep you posted on what's going on, but the good news is right now, again, well, the good news is there are some accidents out there, but traffic is moving pretty well right now. So please make your way out and drive very carefully. Integrity Insurance in Livingston Parish. Check it out when you get a chance. Integrity Insurance Incorporated. Now back to Elizabeth.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Everybody, please be out there if you are on the roads. Again, some severe weather out there, some slick roads. Jeff, of course, will have more updates for you throughout the morning as we get to that. Us in the studio here kind of scrambling a little bit. We had some lightning hit the station, so bear with us this morning. But we do have some sports headlines for you today. Rough night for the LSU Tigers last night. They fell to the Aggies. The game went on in a rain delay, unfortunately, going into the early hour mornings. They held them scoreless until the 7th inning when the Allies rallied to bring back 2 runners and a 2-1 victory. We'll have a little bit more on that with Jacques Doucet with 9 Sports.
Good morning, everyone. The days of the long rookie holdouts in the NFL are obviously coming to an end. The New Orleans Saints already announcing they've signed 4 of their picks from the recent 2013 draft, and that includes first-round selection Kenny Vaccaro from the Texas Longhorns. The 6-foot, 214-pound safety was grabbed with the 15th overall pick in the draft after Vaccaro was named a first-team All-American with the Longhorns. The Saints also inking third-round selection Teron Armstead from tiny Arkansas Pine Bluff. Saints hoping Armstead can perhaps be the answer for the departed Jermon Bushrod at left tackle. Wide receiver Kenny Stills, the 5th-round draft pick from Oklahoma, has also come to terms with the black and gold, along with 6th-round selection Rufus Johnson, the linebacker out of Tarleton State. Big defensive tackle John Jenkins, the 3rd-round selection from the Georgia Bulldogs, is the only Saints draft pick that remains unsigned. Another huge Lifetime Achievement Award for local icon Gail Hatch, who will receive the Legend in the Field of Strength and Conditioning Award this week. The award will be presented at the Collegiate Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association Convention in Kansas City. Hatch was the 2004 U.S. Olympic team coach and has mentored thousands of lifters and coaches, and that includes Tommy Moffitt at LSU. A trio of Glen Oaks Panther track and field standouts becoming a trio of Grambling Tigers signees. Tia Smith, Carlos Morgan, and Jalen Simon all signing their letters of intent with the Tigers. Smith specializes in the 300-meter hurdles, 400-meter dash, and 4x400-meter relay, while Morgan is an 800-meter man, and Simon runs the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 4x400-meter relay. Congratulations to all of them, and best of luck. That does it right now for your local sports. We'll see you again at 6 and 10 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Jacques. We're going to take a quick break right now, but of course we will be back with some news headlines and the latest on the severe weather that is moving across southeast Louisiana, so stay with us. All right, welcome back to 9 News this morning. It is 5:49. I'm Elizabeth Vowell. Thanks for joining us. We've got some headline news for you before we get back to the severe weather. The FDA now launching an investigation into the safety of caffeine after Wrigley announced that it would be putting out a piece of gum that would have about half a cup of caffeine's worth in each piece. Wrigley has since halted production on that, but it does bring up the question, how safe is caffeine? Well, we took a look. For any coffee drinker, nothing beats that first cup in the morning. Except maybe the second cup. But getting your caffeine fix is no longer limited to that bitter brew.
It's being added to so many different products now. And I think as a population, we're also stretching ourselves so that we are multitasking in all different directions and generally getting less sleep.
Caffeine now comes in all forms and flavors. So many, in fact, that the federal government is looking into whether or not certain products with added caffeine are safe, especially for children. These are just some of the products that we found around town that are caffeinated. There's gel chews, chocolate bars, even jelly beans, and of course the usual stuff, sodas, energy drinks, and water additives. All of these products are marketed towards adults, and even some have labels saying not for kids. But that doesn't mean kids aren't going to stay away from the bright packages and fun flavors. That potential appeal towards kids is exactly why the FDA is leading the investigation into caffeine safety.
If we have so many different products available that are caffeinated now and marketed as caffeinated drinks, gum, jelly beans, you name it, products, and a child takes in 5, 6, 7, 8 products a day, is there a side effect to that?
Caffeine stimulates the nervous system. Some studies show benefits of moderate consumption, like prevention of Parkinson's disease. However, too much caffeine can mean heart palpitations, irritability, and nervousness.
Know your own personal, your body, your risk factors, your disease profile, and make a decision about this product for you.
For Healthline, Elizabeth Vowell, WAFB 9 News. By the way, the FDA says up to 400 milligrams of caffeine is considered safe for an adult. That equals about 4 to 5 cups of coffee, and I'm sure all of us have had more than that this morning. All right, we've had severe weather all morning. You've noticed some technical glitches. That's because the station was hit by lightning. Lots of other areas experiencing that as well. So right now we'll go with the 9 storm team, the experts here. Jeff, how is the weather looking?
We still have one severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for our viewing area. The central Livingston warning was allowed to expire at 5:45, but we do still have one severe thunderstorm warning for southern Livingston Parish, eastern sections of Ascension Parish. You see the indication right now is for this sort of bow segment to be dealing with some very strong damaging winds. So there's still also the potential for some hail and a number of cells along this line, but we're going to focus on the one that we have this severe thunderstorm warning for. And you can see very intense sort of shades of red and pink that are moving through sections of western Livingston Parish and eastern sections of Ascension Parish. So we're going to put it into motion and just kind of show you what we've been dealing with over the last hour or so with this storm. And you can see it has continued to move off towards the east at about 35 miles per hour. We'll stop it once again and just put a storm cone on it to give you an idea of just what we are seeing with this and where it may be headed over the course of the next hour or so. So as we draw that in, bear with me just a little bit as I do that for you here live on the air. You can see upwards towards Whitehall, maybe even Killian and Galva over the course of the next 15, 20, even 30 minutes. So this is continuing to move off towards the east at about 35 miles per hour. Seeing some indications of hail within this system. You can see they have decreased in size, though. We were seeing some shades of blue, now just dealing with some lighter whites and dark grays. So upwards of maybe a half of an inch. That's the size of maybe peanuts to dimes, maybe upwards of the size of pennies in terms of this hail. So maybe some potential for this storm to be weakening a little bit. I'm going to change sort of perspectives a little bit, show you something that we don't show you quite often. This is the radar velocity signature. Gives us an indication of the possibility of some rotation. And you see right here where some of these reds and greens are sort of connected. That's some indications that we are seeing some rotation with this thunderstorm. Now keep in mind, this is not tornadic right now. We're just seeing some signs of rotation according to radar. This is just a severe thunderstorm warning currently right now in effect. But boy, let me tell you, the lightning, that is the big story with these storms as they have moved through, causing a number of problems all across our viewing area. We'll zoom out the perspective and just kind of show you how much lightning we have been dealing with. This is a number over the last 15 minutes over our viewing area, and the number is, well, it didn't show up. Hang on one second. Let me try it again real quick. There we go. 2,206 lightning strikes across our viewing area within just the last 15 minutes. So we're talking upwards of about 9,000 lightning strikes in just an hour's time frame across our viewing area. So this sort of line of showers and thunderstorms is going to continue its trek across our viewing area over the course of the next hour and a half as it continues to move east of Baton Rouge. But right now, as of possibly around 4:30 is when the rain started here in downtown. We've picked up about 2¼ inches of rain. So that flash flood watch that is in effect until late Saturday, that's going to continue to be one of the issues, is the potential for more heavy rain as we go throughout the remainder of the day today. So that's one thing we'll be watching for. We'll be watching for redevelopment of even some more severe weather as we continue to monitor this squall line as it continues to push through. So sort of to reiterate what we are dealing with right now, and that is currently one severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for our viewing area, southern Livingston Parish, eastern sections of Ascension Parish. You see that tornado watch, or excuse me, severe thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm watch has been trimmed back just a little bit to sort of follow the line of showers and thunderstorms within our viewing area. So it looks like a majority of the wet weather has started to push east and eastern sections of our viewing area. So we'll probably continue to monitor this over the next 30 minutes to an hour. Hopefully it'll get out of here and we'll begin to see just the potential for some heavy rain as we go through the remainder of the day. Right now we'll send it back out to the live shot. They're kind of huddling, I think, under the shelter as some very rough weather has moved through. Let's send it back to them.
Welcome back. I feel like I keep saying welcome back. We keep going away.
We just did the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
This has turned into the biggest party I've ever been at. And I went to college. This is fantastic. French Settlement is blowing up, quite literally, from the sky. And right here, look at it.
Leighton Ricks was in the middle dancing a little bit, right?
Mayor Tony Guitro can throw a party, as you can see. I mean, we got it happening right here in French Settlement. This is awesome.
Thanks for waking up with us, Leighton.
Oh, look, glad to be here. She does a fantastic job, and with y'all coming and being out, we wanted to be here to support it. It's awesome. Awesome event, even with the weather.
Now, you're hoping you get a lot of support for an event on the Tick Fall coming up, May 25th.
That's right. We got the Tick Fall Regatta coming up. Build your own boats, manpower. It's going to be awesome. Livingston Parish News. Lisa Gleaver is putting it on, or sponsoring it. It's going to be a good family event, about 2 o'clock that Saturday. It's going to be a great thing at Boogaloo's here at the Tick Fall Boat Landing.
We'll hear more about it later as well, Matt, but there's also a lot going on in the parish that we need to cover.
There is a lot going on in the parish, including this storm right now. You and I were just talking. You're going to get some phone calls later, Leighton.
We're going to get a lot of phone calls. DPW will be hauling some sand. Mark with Homeland Security. We're all going to be busy today, that's for sure.
Obviously, one of the big storms in our recent past, Isaac, and you guys actually some movement on some cleanup because of Isaac.
Well, we've got some water money that's been approved for the waterway cleanup. That'll be coming shortly. It's already been approved and sent to the state. They'll be dispersing it. So we'll be down here on the waterways with the Coast Guard doing some additional cleanup. They just did one sweep from funds from Hurricane Katrina and Gustav, so we're going to get them in here again and do some cleanup. It's going to be great, especially if you can see on a day like this.
I know it. This is going to be nasty. We were also talking a little bit about FEMA. And when we get all this rain, we start talking flooding in Livingston Parish and beyond. But there's some places that have never flooded in Livingston Parish, and they could soon be hit with a gigantic rate hike, flood insurance. But there's some movement on that as well.
Well, there is. Senator and Boxer have introduced some legislation, the Water Development Act. Well, Senator Landrieu has issued an amendment that's been approved now and to go to the House to try to keep those rates where they are, because there is a potential for them to go up and to go up significantly. So we're encouraged.
Again, having some technical issues as we move into the severe weather. We do have some reports of some high water on the roads, though. Looks like Nicholson along LSU, South Burbank, or South Boulevard near the police station, and Burbank seeing some high water. So as you head out, be cautious of that. Remember, don't drown. Turn around if you see high water on the roads. Avoid them, turn around, and head back. We're going to check back in with that severe weather. Jeff, what's the latest update?
Yeah, still dealing with one severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for southern Livingston Parish and eastern sections of Ascension Parish. That remains in effect for the next 15 minutes or so. You see that right there, that yellow polygon. It's kind of hard to see with all of the wet weather that's dealing with our area right now. And most of it is still moving through sections of southern Livingston Parish. We'll zoom in on this area and just kind of show you the main area of concern that we're watching for. You see it's just now moved east of French Settlement. But a secondary sort of issue that we're watching is the lightning, and that's been the big sort of hindrance for us here, even at the station, as we have lost power at times, as well as some of our signals have died. So quite a bit of lightning. It's now starting to move east of Baton Rouge. At least the heavy rainfall is starting to move east of Baton Rouge, but we're still watching for that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for areas just to the south of Livingston Parish. Also, eastern sections of Ascension Parish and northern sections of St. James and St. John the Baptist, most of that over marshland, so not a big concern for rural or more rural areas than, say, your populated density areas. So that's where the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. Indications of size of quarters in terms of hail, as well as strong damaging winds associated with that. Let's talk with Chief Meteorologist Jay Grimes. He has joined me here this morning. Jay, what do you have?
Well, it's certainly Jeff doing a great job tracking all of this active weather. Got to admit, a little bit of a surprise. It bubbled up during the overnight hours, and of course we've got the watches and the warnings. Still looking at a couple of warnings in the area. If we go back to Max 1, we'll show you some of those. I also want to mention to our friends off to the southwest over in Iberia, St. Mary Parish, St. Martin Parish, you're also under a severe thunderstorm warning. If there's a little bit of good news here, it's that while we're still seeing some hints of maybe some embedded mid-level rotation in a couple of these individual thunderstorm cells, it looks like that threat is fairly minimal for any kind of tornadic touchdown. Again, showing you the line moving to the east, moving actually a little bit faster in the northern portion, probably up there moving upwards of 35 to maybe even 40 miles per hour to the east, whereas down in the trailing end, closer to places like New Iberia and say Pierpont, parts of Assumption Parish, there the line moving maybe more like 30 miles an hour. So this will eventually get out of the way during the morning hours. Lightning has been a big deal. In fact, we're checking on this right now. We have an unconfirmed report of a lightning strike that may have produced a fire over in the College Drive, Bennington area. We'll track that down for you. Also, of course, as Jeff's pointed out, hail, mainly small hail, but some pockets of hail, an issue everywhere. And to remind you, of course, that thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock. You see Jeff drawing in the line there, give you a sense of the motion and some of the communities that are still to get the heaviest of rain. And of course, we've got the 9 News morning team. They're down in French Settlement, kind of hunkering down because they're really under the active stuff right now. This has been a very busy cluster of storms also in terms of cloud to ground lightning strikes, which also kind of tells us that this is a system getting a lot of support from the upper levels. And what we've really got here is, Steve showed you this last night, a little upper level disturbance that was back over in East Texas last night. All of our guidance kind of suggested that the main energy was going to go north of our viewing area. Well, obviously that's not how it panned out, and we started first getting right in the Baton Rouge area. I think the lightning really started to pop around 2 to 3 earlier this morning, and then it has just blown out and become a monster event. Looking at 2 to 2.5 inches of rain right here in the downtown area. Our radar a few moments ago suggesting upwards of 3 inches of rain and more in parts of western Iberville Parish and back over into St. Martin Parish. And while we're waiting for this big mess to roll by, what you've seen in terms of rain in your backyard, there's still more to come. I won't be surprised if we see a number, widespread reports of 3 inches of rain or more as we wait for this system to go by. We're going ahead and going to pop up a couple more features for you just to show you. In fact, Jeff, you're showing you the radar right now, and you see the yellow watch box with the sweep running. Let's go ahead and take another look, if you will, Jeff, at where we've got any active hail. If we'll click on our hail tracks tool, this is kind of one of the neat things we can do that is relatively new technology. The ability not only to show you where hail is falling, but as Jeff is showing you here, now you can see those storms that are actually producing or have generated a history of hail. Of course, the hail moving with the storm line as well. Looks like no hail in the Baton Rouge area, but maybe some impressive hail being detected down in particularly around St. Mary Parish, rather. and extending up into lower St. Martin. So, so keep in mind that those storms down there are moving a little bit more slowly. So if you're beginning to hear the little ping of hail in your backyard down in St. Martin, St. Mary Parish, going to be hearing that for quite some time. Still looks like some hail falling in lower Livingston Parish, maybe in the extreme eastern portion of Ascension Parish. There we're talking about generally hail, certainly not small, but a hail on the order of a ½ an inch to less than an inch, something more along the lines of peanut to maybe dime or penny-sized hail. So keep that in mind down there. And then as you move farther up into Tangipahoa Parish, now you've got some areas that have some decent hail falling, and farther to the west. So very, very active there as well. We also want to remind you, please send us your pictures. If you've got something going on, some video of heavy rain, some flooding streets, and by the way, street flooding in the downtown area and around Metro Baton Rouge becoming a big, big issue. So even if you're heading into work this morning, allow yourself some extra time. You know those places that are going to flood. Stay away from them. Even on my way in earlier this morning, there were places, River Road back towards South Boulevard, that were impassable. So allow yourself extra time. Of course, bosses, be ready for employees to be arriving a little bit later as the afternoon goes on. Jeff, what you looking at right now?
Yeah, we just put the line in motion. You see all the lightning that's starting to exit the Baton Rouge area, now pushing into eastern sections of our viewing area. So folks in Assumption Parish, you haven't seen much yet. You're going to be dealing with it. St. James Parish, St. John the Baptist Parish, also into southern sections of Tangipahoa Parish, starting to see some heavy rain, also some frequent lightning, and as Jay mentioned, even some hail that has started to move into the area. Let's again show you what we're dealing with in terms of the watches and warnings. We still have the broad severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until 10 a.m. That extends all the way from southwest Mississippi down towards our coastal parishes. And then we have this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect across sections of southern Livingston Parish, eastern Ascension Parish, all associated with this one little sort of big, broad cluster of dark reds associated with what we call radar reflectivity. This gives us an indication of really how heavy the rain is falling, but also the possibility that hail is sort of inside this embedded thunderstorm as it continues to move off towards the east. So the National Weather Service saying hail possibly the size of quarters. That's why they issued the warning, and that warning continues for this area possibly up until around 6:15 a.m. So we're talking more or less the next 5-10 minutes that this warning is still in place. We'll wait to see if they extend the warning for southern sections of Tangipahoa Parish, or even with this secondary line that's now starting to develop from Morgan City up towards Donaldsonville. So this, as Jay mentioned, moving off towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. So we'll put a storm tracker on it just to kind of give you an indication on where this is headed and where it could be going over the course of the next, we'll put it for about an hour, and you can see Amelia 613, Labadeville 624, Thibodaux 637. We haven't really mentioned Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes, but you guys are going to be on the southern line of this shower and thunderstorm activity with the strong damaging winds possible, as well as the possibility of some hail. So those are things that we're watching for. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning that we're watching in our immediate local area is southern Livingston Parish, eastern Ascension Parish. That continues until 6:15, so for the next 5 minutes or so. Of course, Elizabeth will be watching this very closely. Jay and I here in the Storm Center. We'll get back to you when we have much more coming up.
Yeah, certainly we want to also...
All right, thank you, Jay and Jeff. They will be here for the rest of the morning, obviously, working hard here to keep on that severe weather. We've also got some reports of flooding. This is some video that we had taken this morning at South Boulevard near the police station. As you can see, it is passable, but just barely. You can see the water coming up there almost to the car doors. We're also hearing of flooding on Nicholson along LSU and Burbank Drive, kind of the usual areas. So folks, keep that in mind as you're traveling in. Again, Jay and Jeff both mentioned it. Be safe out there on the roads. They're wet. Also, bosses, you might want to prepare for some folks coming in late. If you come across high water, remember, don't drown, turn around. It's an old saying, but one that holds true this morning. All right, moving on to we have the road shows at Livingston Parish. Obviously, we're having a little technical difficulties. We'll get that live shot back up for you as soon as we can. But first, let's take a look at one of the more historic moments in Livingston Parish, a record flooding here, the flood of 1983. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. I've been here 68 years, soon to be 69. And
how does this one compare?
This is the biggest one. And the worst one we've ever had.
But I never thought it would ever come up this high.
No, they told me, it only happens once in a lifetime.
It was the perfect storm in 1983. 10 to 13 inches of rain fell across the upper basin of the Amite and Comite rivers over a 3-day stretch. The rivers combined for a 2,000 square mile basin that begins just north of Liberty, Mississippi, all the way to Lake Maurepas. So much water flowed down the rivers, it created a flood of historic proportions for Livingston Parish north of French settlement.
The 1983 flood was the flood of record. The impact is that caused flooding in areas where people did not expect that it would happen.
Shortly after the flood of 1983, the Amite River Basin Commission was created. Its goal was to be a communication bridge between the federal, state, and local governments. It also recommends changes to help protect against another flood event. Dietmar Riescher heads the commission.
Trying to build a dam reservoir in the northern part of the basin called the Darlington Reservoir.
The plan to build a dam and reservoir to control the flow downriver never saw the light of day. A recommendation for a Comite River diversion canal has seen delay after delay, with money being the #1 problem. While there have been no structural improvements, some property buyouts and mandated house raisings did happen to prevent flood damage. For the village of French Settlement, warning residents about flooding is more challenging, with much of their floodwaters actually being pushed upriver from Lakes Pontchartrain and Maurepas into the Amite. We saw this during Hurricane Isaac. Helping with this somewhat is a fairly new river gauge monitoring system. George Arcement is in charge of the gauge system for the United States Geological Survey.
Sometime after 83, probably about 85 or 86, we started putting out real-time data collection equipment out there. In other words, they were collecting the data and transmitting it back to us on a real-time basis.
This is a big improvement over what was done before and during the record flood. With the old gauges, employees would have to physically go out onto the river to collect the data. Now, that process is instantaneous.
The National Weather Service immediately, they receive the information the same time we're receiving it, so they can get that information and use it for their forecast and predictions.
All right, again, covering the severe weather, we're having kind of our own flooding here, hopefully not as big as that one, but we do have some reports of power outages. This is from Entergy in the Baton Rouge metro area. About 4,000 customers currently without power. Of course, power crews will be out shortly working on that to restore power, and we'll keep an eye on that and have reports of more outages as we go. Now, Jeff Morrow, you've, of course, been keeping up with us all morning, and kind of, I think Jay mentioned it, this was a little unexpected. I don't think that we thought that this was going to be quite the event that it has become this morning.
Yeah, this is what we call an MCS, a mesoconvective system. And
Very long word.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to predict in terms of their trajectory, where they're going to be headed, and just how long sustained of life they're going to have. As Jay mentioned, this started in central Texas, moved southeast, and is now moving into southeast Louisiana. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning we want to mention. This is not technically within our viewing area, but it is on the sort of extreme outskirts of our viewing area. So we're talking southeastern sections of Tangipahoa Parish, also St. Tammany Parish and southern Washington parishes. You have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for your areas. So watch for the potential for that hail. Watch for the potential of those strong damaging winds in association with that. We'll turn on the radar. There you see the strong indications of those dark red shades of color. So that is the real big indication that we're dealing with some heavy rainfall. We've seen projections of 2, even 3 inches of rain according to Doppler radar within just the last couple of hours. And as we turn on the lightning, we'll show you that we're continuing to see a heavy amount of lightning across these thunderstorms, and that gives you an idea of some of the strength of these. When you have frequent lightning, it gives you an idea that this is a very strong supported storm in the mid and even upper levels. So as the sweep begins to update here, you see we're continuing to see some very heavy rains associated with this. and it's continuing to move off towards generally the east at about 30, even 40 miles per hour at times, depending on where the line is in place. And so that's the big concern, is that it's not necessarily a quick moving storm, but it is still a storm that is pumping quite a bit of wet weather and quite a bit of wind. Now, they have discontinued the severe thunderstorm warning for southern Livingston Parish and eastern Ascension Parish that has been allowed to expire. We'll wait and see if they issue anything down here towards the southwest across sections of Assumption Parish, Lafourche Parish, and Terrebonne parishes, as the southern line of the storm system has continued to show signs of strong sort of strengthening as it continues to move off towards the east. The northern line may be moving about 5–10 miles per hour faster than the southern line, but still continuing to see some very strong indications of some of this activity as it continues to move in. Now, for the Baton Rouge metro area, we're starting to begin to see a little bit less in the way of heavy rainfall. Still have rains to go before all is said and done. And now, as you see, just at this moment, they have just issued the severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to turn on the warnings in particular and just give you a better look at that, now including a majority of our coastal parishes: St. John the Baptist, St. James, Assumption, Lafourche, Terrebonne, as well as sections of the New Orleans area, including Metairie possibly. So dealing with quite a bit of heavy rain there. As you look at what we are looking at, it's until 7:15 in the morning. So for the next 45 minutes or so, and then the one up towards Tangipahoa and in the Covington areas in Bogalusa, this one remains in effect for 45 more minutes until 7 a.m. So we'll continue to monitor this situation as we go through the next couple of hours in the show. We'll get back towards the road show if we can get that signal back right after this. So stay with us.
This morning, kind of a wild morning on the show this morning as we've been following the severe weather. Our station actually took a lightning strike, so that's why we're kind of having some here in the signals, but we do have some reports of power outages here. For Entergy, we're told that Baton Rouge is about 4,000 customers without power there. You can see on the map. Of course, power crews will be out trying to repair those as soon as they can. We also have some numbers from DIMCO. For East Baton Rouge Parish, about 2,000 customers are without power. That's only about 6%. East Feliciana, about 400 customers. In Livingston, around 390, just under 400 customers in Livingston Parish without power. In Ascension Parish, 160, around 163 customers without power. Then in West St. Helena, we have about 5,000 without, in total for DIMCO, about 3,000 customers without power there. Again, with Entergy, closer to 4,000 customers. We are going to have a look at the traffic, of course, with these severe weather. We're going to have several flooded roads. We've already shown you some video this morning of South Boulevard along the police station. Of course, if you come across that high water, don't drown, turn around. And speaking of traffic, for a more thorough report on that, we're going to go to Michelle McCallum in the traffic center. Michelle.
Hi, Elizabeth. Let's take a live look at our cameras, I-10 and Acadia, and just to show you, we'll just go to accidents first and then the camera. Accident with injury at I-110 in Hollywood, Airline and Plank, Essen and Bacardi. And I just got off the phone with DOTD officials, and they tell me that the right lane is still blocked southbound I-110 and Capitol Access. And there's also flooding at 22nd Street and I-110 as well. So be careful if you're headed I-10 northbound and I-110 northbound and southbound Capitol Access around 22nd area in that way. Here's a live look at I-10 and Acadian. Things seem to be moving pretty well here in both directions, but again, there's lots of high water and areas to look out for on the surface streets, and we will definitely keep you posted and keep a watchful eye on it all morning. Now back to Elizabeth.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Again, keeping a close eye on that weather and traffic. Of course, if you're seeing any severe weather, any flooding, maybe even some hail that has moved through, be sure to send us your pictures, alerts at WAFB.com. Also, now is a good time to download that app, and somebody who can tell you exactly why. That's Mr. Jay Grimes in the Weather Center. Jay, what do you have for us?
Well, Elizabeth, still dealing with lots of active weather, although things are quieting down in Metro Baton Rouge. You say that, but keep in mind, flooded streets in the metro area still a big deal. If you're heading out the door, certainly allow yourself a little extra time to get to work. Some of the access roads, you know where the main culprit sites are, but with the rains like this is where you even start seeing standing water in roads that you don't normally expect. Showing you right now, here's where we have the latest broad severe thunderstorm warning outside of the immediate Baton Rouge metro area, south of us, including parishes such as Assumption, St. James, St. John, Terrebonne, Lafourche, and the southeastern corner of Ascension, I believe. That warning remaining in effect until 7:15. Down there, the storm's moving through the area at about 30 miles per hour. You see another warning off to the east of Baton Rouge, and the big yellow box, that's the watch. The watch still in effect until 10 o'clock, although I anticipate we'll see the western flank of that watch continue to be trimmed back as this main line pushes off to the east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. You can see the lightning. Folks, if you're still to the east or just under that line of storms, it's going to be a while before things quiet down for you. Let's toss things back over to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Jay. We have some breaking news for you now. Joining us on the phone is Kurt Monty with the Baton Rouge Fire Department. The fire department responding to a fire off of College Drive. Kurt, what can you tell us about what's going on out there?
Well, right now, Elizabeth, good morning. It's enough that people are putting up this weather. We certainly ask them to avoid the area. It's a 4,000 block of Bennington Avenue. We do have a working building fire. There's been reports that lightning was the cause. I cannot confirm that at this time, but we certainly are looking into that. Investigators will be looking into that as the investigation moves forward. But certainly a lot of trucks on scenes. The fire is large in capacity. It is through the roof of the building, and ladder truck is set up. So we're going to be out there a while. We're asking people just to avoid the area at this time.
Understandably so. Now, Kurt, with the severe weather, of course, folks just driving around need to stay off the roads. But how does this affect y'all when you're heading out towards a fire like that? Does this affect any kind of how you guys approach this?
Well, it's certainly a challenge. It could cause challenges in communications, response, and all those things. So far, we've been able to arrive on scene safely. The firefighters have the proper equipment set up, and the situation seems to be going forward as we all train and plan it. Certainly, weather conditions can change. We do have people monitoring that. Our safety officers are on scene at this time. So if the public can help us out, it's going to be a tremendous help just to keep people out of the area at this time.
Absolutely, Kurt. Thank you so much for that update and joining us this morning. We'll continue to follow that situation. We'll have updates on WAFB.com and right here again. Asking people to stay away from that area on College Drive as Baton Rouge Fire Department responds to that fire. All right, folks, let's head back out to Livingston Parish and French Settlement to the live shot. I see Matt Williams out there, and looks like they're having a good time out there, even though we're having kind of a crazy.
And welcome back. Let me tell you, hey, if we could get the band to keep playing a little bit, you guys keep playing. Keep playing. I wanted to show you the party. This party has been incredible. Let's take a walk through. James, if you want to follow me, Lauren. Come on along.
Hey, all of these kids have been dancing their little booties off this whole time.
I know. How are you guys?
See what I mean?
This is what it's been like. All this sea of people. This is what it's been like. This is what it's been.
Such great sports.
Let's make our way through. See if we can go through. Let's talk with some people.
Can we do this? Can I get
How are
free?
you?
Woo!
Good. What kind of party is this for Prince? I know it's going to be tough, James. Just try and stay with me. How are you? Doing good? What do you think about all this?
The best party we've had in a long time.
Best party they've had in a long time. What do you think?
This is a testament to the people out here. It shows even when all the rain came through, the lightning, we lost power, they stayed, they danced, they had a great time. We're having a great time. I don't want to leave.
I know. We may not be able to with all this rain. Let's keep walking.
Okay.
Get away from the speaker.
I know. Hey!
All right, hold on. Let's make over to the cheerleaders. Ladies, how are you guys? You guys have been non-stop since we've been out here. What do you think about all this?
I heard they have a real special cheerleader
Yes.
here.
She's around here somewhere. I tell you what, we're going to continue kind of showing you this. Also want to show you a few other things that Frank Settlement Livingston Parish has to offer. Have you been to the Creole House? No? Well, have a look.
You know the expression, big things come in small packages. Well, the Creole House is quite literally bursting at the seams.
Now they bring in too much stuff. We don't know what to do with all of it.
Built as a residence in 1898, it eventually became town hall until 1977 when the French Settlement Historical Society was formed with the help of Mrs. Mercy Lobel.
All of the councilmen, they were very against it.
But luckily, they realized this is a house that needed to stay in the family, so to speak.
The town is made up mostly of families, the older families, the Idells, the Lobels, the Matherns, the Salassies, the Shake Snyders.
And all of those were land grants.
Today, the Creole House is full of artifacts, pictures, and documents collected from those families.
August 10th, 11th, 1888.
Like this invitation for the party of 1888, a steamboat cruise from New Orleans to French Settlement, round trip 75 cents. With meals, $2.50.
They used to sit on it and carve their names from the 1800s waiting for the ferries.
There's a smokehouse, a slaughterhouse, and even an outhouse. They really are close in these parts. But the most valuable treasures at the Creole House are sitting right on the front porch.
Skinny dipping in the Amity River.
Yeah.
That was the life back there.
Yeah.
Where you had nothing at all to worry about. It was just a heaven on earth.
As Mr. Ray admires his grandmother and Mrs. Mercy remembers hers, the next generation is standing by.
Preserving the museum and carrying on the legacy that they started in this community, it means a lot.
Making sure every story
I had to learn to speak English when I started school.
and every memory
Those mattresses was made once a year.
Wow, yeah.
And when we first got in them, they was
gets passed on.
There's not a history book written on it. So this is the history book. This museum and the people talking here, that's the history book.
A living history book that looks every bit its age, bursting at the seams.
Oh, thank you so much for that story, Graham. We are joined, we found her, Simone Odom, Matt. She is the first cheerleader from French Settlement to get a scholarship, go to Southeastern. Congratulations, Simone.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, when do you start?
June 2nd is our first practice, so.
They don't have to change, you don't have to change your colors. Or the mascot, this is easy.
I know. It's very exciting.
This a group of girls I know you're proud of, huh? Right here.
Yes, I'm very proud of them.
Are y'all hungry?
Yes.
Are you hungry?
Sauce patat.
There's food right down here. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
we're
what, we're
gonna
going to
learn a
make
little
our
bit
way
about
down here. It's food time. It's the
And they
best
all
part
said
of the show.
food.
Look at them. They're leading the way.
It's a herd.
Okay, so do we know what Sauce Patat is?
We're about to learn. You know, they gave us these little pins that say Sauce Patat Capital.
Right.
So we want to
So
find
we
out
better
what
figure out
that
what's
is.
going on. Where is the Sauce Patat being made? Right over here.
I heard the police chief is good at making it.
Right over here. The chief's making it. Oh, well, we better find the chief.
Here we go. Hey, Chief Harry, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing just great. Now, what is Sauce Patat?
It's a potato stew
And it's really popular here in French Settlement.
with a capital.
The capital. Now, you have some pride in that. Are you making it anywhere today? Is this it in here?
Can we take a peek?
Ooh, that looks
Oh.
good.
Is there going to be enough? You see how many people are out here, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, we always got extra.
Okay, that's right.
What's the secret to a good Sauce Patat?
Loving it and nurturing it.
I knew it was secret ingredients. I knew it. They never want to spill the secret ingredients.
We have to try some of this as soon as you're ready. Thank you so much for coming out with your guys, law enforcement, and cooking. You have many jobs in this town, just kind of like everybody else, right? In the village, rather.
Yes, ma'am. Quite a few. Wear different hats every day.
Huh. Right behind us, of course, French Settlement Sausage. We've talked with them already, but I tell you what, you can't ever get too much of a good thing. How are you guys this morning, besides a little bit wet and dripping?
Yeah, a little bit wet, but we're doing good. Ain't nothing like a normal tailgate time and it starts raining, but as you can see, we holding up pretty good.
You're not going to let rain get in the way of a good sausage.
Absolutely not. They're good, wet, wild, however you want to eat them.
Good, wet, dry, or whatever.
Yeah, the biscuit's a little bit soggy this morning, but the sausage is great.
Thank
Still
you
a
guys
good
so
pig
much
in a
for coming
blanket.
out. Look at this. Hold on. Can I try a piece?
Yes, sir. Help yourself.
All right.
We got sausage, some kolaches, and biscuits, and some gravy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
I think can we end the show here?
Yeah. 100% hickory
That's fine
smoke.
with us. We got a lot, so
Smoke Boston button or two. Great sauce.
You know what?
Best
Maybe
sauce
this is
in
when
St. Louis.
we should send it to Diane because we're going to eat.
You think maybe this is when we should go over there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, then actually, you know what?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Diane actually got to take a tour of the parish's only Blue Ribbon school. Guess where it is? Right here in French Settlement.
It's the best kept secret in Livingston Parish, so says Cindy Gill, the principal of French Settlement Elementary, of the community she works in and calls her home away from home. But there's something very special about this school under her watch.
The National Blue Ribbon School Award will be the highlight of my career. French Settlement Elementary is the only school in Livingston Parish to ever win this award of distinction, and to be the first one, and who knows, maybe, hopefully not the only one, but right now, I mean, we won that award in 2009, and here we are, and no one else has won that award.
Obviously, the school of 530 students, pre-K through 6th, is in a league of its own. But how did it happen?
We were nominated by the state, worked on an application about 6 weeks, lots of data, and it just proved that every year that we were raising the bar on our students, raising those test scores, and that's how we became a National Blue Ribbon School. A lot of hard work.
And Principal Gill is quick to give credit where credit is due. Her students, her teachers, her faculty and staff saying a successful school is all in the attitude.
My goal, ultimate goal as an administrator, is to see every child achieve, every child learn. That's our mission statement that you see on the wall, French Settlement Elementary School, preparing children for their future one day at a time, and that should be a successful future.
From accepting a prestigious award in Washington, D.C., to walking the halls with her students, Mrs. Gill's passion for excellence is contagious, and it shows. Why, she's even an honorary lunch lady.
If you come to the cafeteria, I am serving peas or beans or whatever every day. My kids see me out and about in school, and so it makes a difference where they feel comfortable and they don't see me just as the principal. They see me as a friend. My door is always open to all of my students.
Yep, even on location. Do these shoes look familiar? Uh-huh. They belong to the principal, Cindy Gill. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, Diane. How are you?
We've had a great time out here this morning.
It's been a great party.
French Settlement Elementary, a Blue Ribbon School. You've got the fitness team, the superintendent. Good morning.
Good morning.
And your name is?
John Watson.
I know you're proud of the school. The only Blue Ribbon, National Blue Ribbon School in Livingston Parish.
Yes, indeed. And we have excellent schools, and
2 nationally recognized schools in this community. So
We love it, and the nationally recognized schools are so important. Everybody you see in yellow, Johnny, that's the Spirit, the Spirit shirt, correct? Right there. It says it all. French Settlement Elementary. Thank you so much for, and we've got the fitness team over here. We have so many of the students. They've been so wonderful this morning, Cindy. Anything else you'd like to mention?
Mention our 4-H club.
Oh, 4-H club,
come on in here.
They're
Come on
here
in
too.
here.
Yeah.
Come on in here. Crowd on in.
Thank you so much. You know, the weather's been a little iffy this morning, so we're going to go back to the studio, Johnny, and find out what the latest. Jeff, what's the latest situation with our weather?
We have some flooded roadways that we've been monitoring here in the Baton Rouge area. I-10 at Acadian, the Acadian Underpass. We have a vehicle that has been stuck in the water. They are about to close down the road on Acadian that goes under the underpass, so be sure to stay away from that. You know the spots in Baton Rouge that flood every time we see this kind of rain. The Governor Mansion curve is always a troubled spot. Acadian right under the underpass is always a troubled spot too. We saw 2.5 inches of rain here in downtown. The good news is they have trimmed back the severe thunderstorm watch from Baton Rouge. It is no longer in effect for Baton Rouge, but we do still have some active warnings in effect down towards our coastal parish and along the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, southeastern sections of Tangipahoa Parish, St. Tammany, southern Washington parishes still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Also, sections of St. John the Baptist, St. James, Terrebonne, and Lafourche parishes still under a severe thunderstorm warning and associated with some of these showers and thunderstorms. Zoom in on the line right now, starting to exit areas of Assumption Parish, moving into Lafourche Parish, and also starting to move through central sections of St. James Parish. So Lutcher now exiting Supreme, moving through Napoleonville as well, moving towards Thibodaux, Gray, Raceland. We'll put a storm tracker on the southern extent of this line as it continues to move off towards the east. So Thibodaux within the next couple of minutes, Schriever within the next couple of minutes, Lower Vacherie as well, and Houma later on this morning within the next 20 minutes or so. Of course, the bigger story possibly will be the amount of rain that we have seen. This is Doppler radar estimated rainfall. You see a lot of those greens. That is 2, even sometimes 3 inches of rain, but we have measured totals here in downtown at our studio here of 2.5 inches of rain within just the last 2.5 hours. So heavy rain causing some flooding streets across the metro area. This rain is continuing to move off towards the southeast, but we have more coming with us later on in the day today, we expect. So we'll be watching for that over the course of the next couple of hours. Let's send it back over down to the roadshow in French Settlement. Diane, how are things going down there?
I tell you what, it's a little bit soggy right now, but we are having a great time. I did my aerobic exercise earlier today. We were all dancing to the music. I'm worn out, but the fitness team from French Settlement Elementary, Bobby Blanchard, you're amazing. You're the parish teacher of the year.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a real thrill and a great surprise.
Yay.
A real true honor.
We need to clap.
True
Yeah.
honor.
So what does the fitness team, what can they do, Bobby?
Well, they compete in a competition of 7 events, 600-yard run, 50-yard dash, shuttle run, pull-ups, curl-ups, sit and reach and stand and long jump.
I'm worn out listening to it.
No, and, can they do something for us this
yes,
morning?
they can demonstrate some exercises right here. You ready?
I'm going to back up.
All right, show them lunges. Forward. Keep going. Show them squats. Keep going. Keep going. Show them a cross step. Show them split jumps.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
All right, good job, everybody.
State Teacher of the Year, possibly? State Teacher of the Year, possibly?
Last I've heard, semi-finalists. Waiting on
He's the best. I tell you, French Settlement Elementary. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everyone. Lauren?
Hey, great job, everyone. They're talking about exercise and Matt. We're talking about the food. We're not doing much exercising over here.
Not over here. We're in the right place. Hold on. I got somebody who doesn't want to be on TV, but I'm going to ask her anyway. Teresa, one of the aldermen here. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
What are we looking at? Look at all this stuff.
Well, we have pastelaya.
Right here.
That's pastelaya. That's just some smothered, what we call breakfast potatoes.
Breakfast potatoes. We got sausage everywhere. Right here, obviously the good stuff. And then we've got crackling over here. Oh, my goodness.
Fat-free crackling.
Oh, is that right? Is it fat-free? I didn't know how that worked.
This is the world's best.
World's best.
World's best horses.
All right. Okay.
No cholesterol, no fat.
He's right. It's fat-free and delicious. Lauren,
An
Lauren
admission.
Westbrook.
Yeah, I have an admission.
Yeah, please, because this is sad.
That
but-
was my first crackling.
Oh my God!
And it was so good.
It really was.
I really, really loved it. Okay, now we're on to talking about the waterways, the Tickfall River. There's a big event coming up May 25th that Layton Riggs Parish President was talking about earlier. We want to give you a look at that. Richard Michael is a creative guy.
It's used with recycled wood from a 60-year-old barn and a house on Jefferson that was being torn down.
One tour of his shop he built behind his home in Denham Springs shows off that creativity. At the end of May, Richard plans to put his crafty skills to the test in a first-of-its-kind competition in Livingston Parish.
We are doing a homemade boat race on the Tickfall River May 25th.
Alicia Gleaver is spearheading the inaugural Redneck Regatta, and she hopes everyone comes dressed like her.
If you don't have a boat or don't have the ability to participate in building a boat, you can at least come out and have fun and dress up and be in the costume contest.
The Pirate Costume Contest. The wildest race on the river is happening right here on the Tickfall, next to Boopaloo's Bar. What's with the name? Well, let's ask the owner.
That's me. My nickname's Boo, and my wife's name Pat, and my dog's name Lucy.
I like it. I love it.
So it was kind of unique, you know, so that's where we come up with that.
That's Charles Milton. He's lived on the river for 20 years. Finally, after a lot of begging to his wife, he's living his dream of owning a business on the water, complete with dollar bills on the wall and, we'll call them unique decorations. This table is my favorite.
That's what I tell everybody, it's my half brother.
Charles's bar is just 2 years old, and he says the perfect venue for the Redneck Regatta.
It'll be the first time. But I think it's going to be a really big thing because I want to see what they got because I want to be on one next year. Hoping they get a senior division.
Meanwhile, Richard already has a strategy down for this year.
Flat, streamlined, low to the surface, and manpower.
And the energy coming from contestants like him is contagious.
I hope to get it bigger and better and outgrow the location that we're at. You know, that's my problem I hope to have.
That would be a great problem to have, wouldn't it? Here's the schedule for the Redneck Regatta on your screen. Take a look. May 25th, Alicia Gleaver and her friend Donna Reeder are so hoping that a lot of people come out, aren't you, Alicia?
Yes, I'm very excited about our upcoming event. We've got a lot of prizes. Don Seafood has donated some stuff. We're going to be giving away T-shirts. Get to work on your boats now. You can make them out of anything. Show up at 2 o'clock on the 25th and race.
And Donna, we mean anything, don't we? I mean, anything goes.
Anything goes, for real.
I'm kind of nervous to see some of these creations, but excited at the same time.
Me too. I did it in North Louisiana last year, and I was like, we have got to do this down here. It was so much fun.
Come on out, May 25th, the Tickfall River. Graham Wilkins joining us now. Sounds like a great time, Graham.
You guys are having a great time. We're having a great time as trying to get the camera back over here. Sheriff Jason Hart has been with us all. What a morning that we have had, Jason.
It's been a morning. It's been kind of a little bit on the dangerous side, but like we always do in this part of the country.
All right, let's try this. Let's try this again with a mic that works. So, Sheriff Jason Hart has been with us all morning. This has been a crazy morning. You guys have stuck with us, though. And what has it been like this morning? You guys are actually in the middle of your DARE graduation, in the middle of all this going on right now, too.
Right, but it's been wonderful this morning. It's been a lot of excitement here. I mean, we can always, around this area, we can turn a bad thing into a good thing. So
That's
we
right.
showed that earlier. But we are in the middle of our DARE program, and this year we'll graduate between 1,500 and 2,000 students. They'll be all fifth graders in the DARE program. I'm very proud of that program. It gives us an opportunity to get into schools, talk to our kids, and teach them about the harmful effects of drugs, peer pressure, and things of that nature that, unfortunately, they're going to be faced with.
Yeah. And you said it's almost 2,000 kids and some in French Settlement, of course, here, too, right?
Right. We were here at French Settlement this week at French Settlement Elementary, and their fifth graders graduated from our DARE program. Very proud of each and every one of those students.
All right, Sheriff, thank you so much. You got your whole crew here as well. We appreciate you guys sticking out here with us this morning. Right now, though, obviously the weather still the big story this morning, so sending it back to Jeff in the studio. Jeff.
Thank you, Graham. We have our first tornado warnings that have been issued with this storm system as it's been moving through very far eastern sections of our viewing area. One tornado warning for northern sections of St. John the Baptist Parish, and this is for mainly the I-55 corridor. So we're going to zoom in on this location and just kind of show you just where exactly we're watching for this tornado possibility. It looks like they have actually discontinued the warning, but we are still seeing signs of rotation. We'll turn to the velocity and just show you that right here, over here to the north of the 55 label right there, that is the tornado warning, excuse me. And you see even some of these reds and greens touching. That is a radar sort of indicating that there is some rotation associated with this and that there's a possible tornado. So if you have family or friends that are plant workers that kind of come down from Ponchatoula or Hammond down towards Reserve and Edgard to go work at the plants, if they're on I-55 right now, they need to avoid the area just to the north of Laplace because possibly Doppler radar indicated tornado moving through sections there. We'll zoom out and talk about another tornado warning that we have in effect for St. Tammany Parish. This one associated right here just to the southeast of Covington, as we have a little bit of sort of a notch right here. That's the possibility of some more rotation, Doppler radar indicating another possible tornado. So they too are under a tornado warning. So not necessarily within our viewing area, but just wanted to give the folks there a heads up that can watch us on cable that you do have tornado warning. Seek shelter if you live in those areas southeast of Covington. And of course, the plant workers that may be traveling on Interstate 55 need to probably pull over to the side of the road for at least the next 15-20 minutes before finishing their commutes as they head towards the plants or back home, vice versa. So that's a look at what we're dealing with. Let's get over a look at some of the roadways that we have flooded. I think Michelle has more on that.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you. We're going to take a live look at our cameras. I-10 at Essen. Things are definitely picking up this morning as more folks are headed out the door, and they're looking pretty good at I-10 and Essen. Both sides of the freeway, as you can see, it's moving along pretty well. Things are moving slow due to the crazy weather that's going on, but it seems to be moving. Also, if you're coming from Livingston Parish at I-12 and Range, again, a lot of volume on the road that's picking up, but it seems to be moving well. We are still hearing reports that the right lane is blocked at I-110 South at North 22nd due to high water, I should say, so please be on the lookout for that as well. And there are several accidents, I-12 and Sherwood Forest, Lee Drive, and Palm. So again, be very careful out there. Drive slowly. We're going to head out. We're going to keep a watch on, and we're going to head out live back to the guys in French Settlement.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michelle, for keeping us up on that. I'm here with two lovely ladies. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Oh, Johnny, for heaven's sake. But you know, they're very important part of the 4-H program, French Settlement Elementary. We have a lot of students here at French Settlement Elementary in the 4-H program, and you are the sponsor, the librarian, and your name?
Sherry Barnes.
How exciting is it to have so many students from the elementary school involved in 4-H?
It is wonderful here.
Now tell me about the chickens that we're looking. We had chickens and pigs this morning.
Absolutely. Those are our animals that we exhibit at the livestock show.
Uh-huh. And how often do you exhibit the animals? How many shows do you do a year?
There's several. You can do the parish, you can do the state show, and usually our students participate in all of them.
So you wanted them to say the 4-H pledge. Is that what you wanted to do this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that we can get them to do that?
Oh. Absolutely.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the 4-H pledge.
Guys, ready?
Very nice. Ask her, what type of chickens are those? Are there some specific type of chicken?
Brooklyn, what kind of chickens are they?
What kind of chickens are they?
They're Bongro, I think.
That's what I thought, actually.
Don't believe him. Grammy, what do you have to?
All right, we're talking also, of course, about the Creole House, which is our backdrop, which is kind of hard to see. We saw the story that I did earlier, and Miss Kim Idell, the president of the French Settlement Historical Society, you were in my story. So talk a little bit about the Creole House, because you guys just did a complete renovation, and you are all run on donations, right?
Yes, very much so. Very limited donations, but we are a historical society that takes care of the museum. And we just love our history in French Settlement in the surrounding areas.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the Creole Festival, because that's your big fundraiser, right?
That's our only fundraiser, actually. And it's only a fundraiser, and we have it the third Sunday in October. and anybody can come out and enjoy. We have a great day, music, food, and fun.
All right, and if people just want to come see the Creole House Museum, how can they do that?
Just contact me. We open every Sunday from 2 to 4.
Okay.
But you can come anytime and call me, and we'll open a private tour if you need to.
Yeah, and the work that y'all are doing to preserve the history of the families that are so tight-knit in this little village, it's really amazing to hear all the stories and everything that you say you just kind of go through and dig through some of the stuff, see what you can find, right?
Yes, we do. And we have a lot of history here, a lot. And that's why it's so easy to preserve it.
You really do. And of course, we go from French settlement to Hungarian settlement right up the road, a place that's close, near and dear to my heart as well. Matt's over there with the Hungarian settlement.
I know it is, Graham. Obviously deep in your family, deep in so many families. So let's talk with the folks from the Hungarian settlement. First of all, let's say hi to the world. Who do we have here?
Hi, Matt. I'm Linda Kovac-Bibbin. I grew up in Hungarian settlement in Albany, Louisiana.
Who's this?
And I'm Alex Kropag. I'm currently the president of this Hungarian Settlement Historical Society.
Juliana Petho-Robertson of Hungarian settlement.
All right, so take me back. When we talk about the Hungarian settlement, what is it we're talking about?
Okay, Hungarian settlement is located on the east side of the parish. Around 1900, Hungarians started migrating to Albany, to Hungarian settlement. And by 1935, there were 350 families there. So,
obviously that was then. Now, how many folks do we still have that claim that kind of lineage?
The great melting pot has happened. And today we are dwindling down, but we still try to maintain our culture and all of our heritage.
When you speak about culture and heritage, I mean, things like this what is this? This is gorgeous.
This is a beautiful scarf made by our aunt, Ruby Petho. And you can tell by the craftsmanship, the front, the back looks as well as the front. She also went to the school, grades 1, 2, 3, as did my mother. Velma Kovac went from the first grade. The school that's going to be turned into the museum.
How often, when we talk about the Hungarian settlement, we talk about the heritage, is it challenging to keep that alive right now? I know it's got to be a bit.
It is, and we're working hard with our museum at the moment. It's a work in progress. It has been going on since 2000, and we're really working hard at it. Yes.
Always a challenge. So what do you think?
I think it's awesome because in 1999, my girlfriend and I were riding bikes and we went into the old building and a dream became a reality. We knew that building had to be restored and it was fun. It's been fun ever since working with Mr. Kropag and the whole community.
Well, I know everybody appreciates all y'all's efforts and everything you're doing to try and keep that story going, keep it alive. It's important history, and you guys are doing everything you can to maintain it. Thank you guys so much for braving the rain. I saw y'all dancing. Nice moves, by the way. Very nice moves. Lauren Westbrook, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Matt. We're also keeping the memory alive this morning of Caitlin Idle, her mom, Danette Idle, with us this morning. We're so honored to be a part of this moment on 9 News this morning. Danette, you have something to present to Bailey and Corey.
Yes, I do. Every year we hold a scholarship fund in memory of my daughter. It's the Caitlin Idle Scholarship. And this year, because of the road show, I asked if we could give them their checks at the show. They said yes. So I'd like to present Bailey Keel with a $1,000 check and Corey Combe with a $1,000 check.
Congratulations. And for those who don't know your family's story, can you tell us a little bit about what this means about Caitlin?
I do this in memory of her because she went missing and this community was such a big support. So this is one of my ways of paying back and giving back to the community.
Thank you for your strength, for your courage to get up with us today and to honor these young people. It's an emotional thing, but it's a wonderful thing that's happening this morning. Bailey, what does it mean to you to be able to receive this award, this scholarship?
It is definitely an honor to receive this, mainly because I knew Caitlin personally. She was such a beautiful girl, had a beautiful personality, and she was never frowned and was always happy, and that's why I'm just so pleased to receive this.
We're all smiling thinking about her today. Thank you so much. We're going to send it back to you in the studio for a check of our weather.
Well, certainly staying very active, although the good news is the storms, the main core of the energy has moved off east of the Baton Rouge area. For many of you, you're starting to see at least the rains winding down, still getting some flashes of lightning. Let's go through what's going on right now. First off, we'll focus in on that little red polygon. That is the tornado warning back over in St. Tammany Parish. That will remain in effect until 7:15. Of course, that storm moving off to the east, so no concern for us. Then you see the two filled areas. That's where we have thunderstorm warning still in effect. The northern one still in effect for about another 4 to 5 minutes or so. And down in the southern parishes, now we're talking about Eastern Assumption, Lower Ascension, St. James, St. John, Lafourche, a good portion of Terrebonne. That will remain in effect until 7:15. So the question might be for folks in the southern parishes, could that be extended? Well, we're seeing maybe a trend for these storms to be easing up just a tad. So maybe if there is a little bit of good news down in the coastal parishes, yeah, you've still got some action coming your way. Probably when you look at this 3-hour loop, to me, the thing that jumps out at me is the lightning, an incredible amount of cloud to ground lightning as these storms rolled by. We've already told you about the possible lightning strike that may have created a fire over on the Bennington College Drive area. There is the number of strikes over 15 minutes, nearly 4,000 ground strikes. It really is remarkable that we don't have more lightning-related damage given that kind of action. But what I wanted you to notice now is that Baton Rouge still getting some rain, but the energy for the Baton Rouge metro area has shifted off well to the east. There's the thunderstorm watch box. Notice how it has been trimmed back, and the greater Baton Rouge metro area now out of the watch zone. But that doesn't mean you still don't have flooded streets to deal with, and that's going to be a problem for the next couple of hours. We're now over 2.5 inches of rain here at the studio. We've been looking at some radar estimates. Portions of Iberville Parish, more than 3 inches of rain, and a band that extends from western Iberville Parish through the southern half of West Baton Rouge into East Baton Rouge and northern Ascension, western Livingston. We got an area there that's showing some widespread totals hinting at 2 to maybe 3 inches of rain. And of course, all of that falling in about a window of 2 to 3 hours. So pretty impressive numbers there. You see some of the numbers that we're beginning to pick up in terms of our radar estimates. This has been a monstrous event. Again now, the storminess starting to wind down for the metro area. Now for that morning drive, that's going to continue to be a mess for the next several hours. That's your latest on the weather. Again, slow but steady improvement here in the Baton Rouge area and for many of our neighboring parishes and Mississippi counties. Let's toss things back over to the desk, Liz.
All right, thanks, Jay. Everybody up here all morning covering that storm coverage, and we'll continue to have that throughout the morning hours. But for now, we're going to head back out to Livingston Parish, French Settlement, where the 9 News team is having a blast out the road trips, even if they are a little wet. How are things going out there?
They're going well. We are still getting a little bit wet. It's calming down. Nobody's left. So let's talk with some folks who are here. Actually, Assistant Police Chief Lawrence Callender, good to see you this morning, sir. How are you?
Just fine. Just fine. And yourself? You're wet, huh?
Well, we got a little bit wet. Have you checked out all the food? Did I see you over there?
It's great. The food is great.
Are you surprised? We'll get to some of the stuff here in a minute, but are you surprised at the turnout from this town, or is this exactly what you expected from these people?
I expected. This has been the talk of the town for a week now.
Well, they showed up big time despite the weather. I wanted to talk to you real quick, though. We kind of touched on it earlier in the show. This town, it's not a town, it's a village. And it survives on probably one of the lowest tax bases in the parish. And it survives by never going into debt. There's 100 things I'm sure you want, but you only get what you can afford at that moment. And sometimes that involves applying for and getting grants. And you guys got this down to a science.
We do, we really do. It takes a couple of years to go through the grant process, and once you get the monies, it takes another couple of years to go through the reporting process and the auditing process. And we've been very blessed to end up with some nice grants. We haven't paid for a police car since Katrina. We broke all our police cars in Katrina. So that's when we started looking for grants. And the mayor and I have went out and actually looked at federal, state, and local grants. We put in a $64,000 air conditioning unit that we couldn't have afforded when our air conditioning unit broke last summer. So we ended up with that, and we're saving $250 a month for the next 30 years, that's going to be more than $200,000 in electricity savings for us, and it was 100% federally funded.
I was talking to Mayor Tony. She was telling me in the 9 years that she's been mayor here, it's better than $440,000 worth of grants, and that's all upgrades to the village that would have never happened. You guys are right now working on getting grants to get a community center built on these very grounds.
That's correct. That's correct. We sure are. We're gonna target a community center and our park, which we've already started. We're gonna plant citrus trees and fruit trees. So when you come to the park, you can actually sit down and have some fruit.
So again, the town is run exactly how you would hope your town is run. Good to see you. Appreciate being out here. All right. Go get some more food. Graham, good morning to you. What you got, buddy?
Hey, Matt, over here with the Broussards, and this is Miss Grace Broussard. Tell me about this picture, Miss Grace.
This picture was taken back in 1963 when I was singing with Dale Houston, Dale and Grace, with Mr. Dick Clark.
That's cool. That's incredible. Now, tell me real quickly, how many Broussards are there, siblings?
There's 12 of us.
12 of y'all, and how many are here today?
1, 2, 3, 4 of us.
4 of y'all. All right, let's get a little taste of the Broussards. All right, y'all ready? Mr.
Number
Martha?
11.
There's number 11. All right, let's hear the Broussards.